Hey yo, we're live. Let me see how can I get like can I get like a link to people? Let's see where we have Arcus. Where's Arc? Let's move to the other one. Da-da-dum. Just wanna see if we can create a dashboard. Zoom live. I'm just testing how this sounds. So this looks good overall. I don't think I'm gonna have any viewers, but I just want to do this refactoring though. Okay, so we're live. Let's get started. I don't want to hear myself anymore, so I'm just gonna stop that. Let's go to what what we came here for, which is continue the refactoring. So, as per the last video that I recorded, we were fixing all the errors that we had because of changing the signature and moving the implementation from the previous signature to this new one. So we had to change a couple of variables and fields that now were different. So I did a couple of to-dos here. I just cast as any. That was like um, that's what we did. So what is next? So the last thing that I was trying to do here was like um, checking on the ID. In this case, we did have a condition on the previous signature which enforced users to include an ID parameter, an ID field on the entity shape. So now we don't have that. So I was thinking how we could do that on runtime. So we should like check whether there's an ID or not and remove it. For that, we needed a strategy for it. So if ID in empty shape without read-only fields. If we do that, we know that entity shape without read-only fields has an ID. It's unknown, of course, but all we want to do is like remove it. So maybe we want to do something like this. Um, the problem is that we don't care about that, right? Should we let here so that we extract the ID and then if I comment this, we're gonna need that entity shape without read-only fields nor ID. So what happens if there's no ID? We should be fine, right? Mm, so let's just call this to be this as a default. And then we maybe is never. What? Okay, I'm gonna ignore that for the time being. Okay, wait. We need to rename this. Ah, how hard it is to rename things. I'm just gonna call it rest. Fuck it. Um, so it says it's not. Come on, they're not the same type, right? Mm. Oh, strip only brand T entity ID. Strip only record. Key of T entity is not assignable to type. Key of strip read only brand T entity ID. Hmm. Mm, okay. What can I do? Strip read only brand T entity and ID. The thing is, I could. Mm, what if we cast it? The thing is, this could happen. What could happen with this is remove read-only fields and then you do ID. Let's see the implementation of this real quick. So the unwrap means which you don't care. If unwrap and unwrap includes k, non-read-only entries push k v dot unwrap. Okay. So yeah, this type is kind of annoying, getting in the way of what we want to do. Models create. Yeah, we don't have models create, right? Create in models. What does it say? Argument of type t create is not zero to test auto shape. Type undefined is not. Yeah, we have to check also for create in models and models create. We should do that, and that should fix that. So for this, I think that we will need to cast this. We'll call it unknown. Do we care about this actually? Input shape. We can just say that this is no one would care. It's a bit tricky because that's not the truth about the type, but it's also not a lie because it is a Sotro shape, right? And it is shape without read-only fields, strip read-only brand. It's models entity. Yeah, we should be fine. The thing is that we are already setting the type of create. On the base API calls. So I wouldn't worry about this. I'll just call this as resolved. List, again, tmodels doesn't exist anymore. We have um, entity, tentity, create, tcreate, and textra filters. Sorry, extra filters, textra filters. This is, give me one sec. Let me see what this is. Tmodels, extends, base models, placeholder, entity, create, built-in filters. Extends filters shape. List does not satisfy the constraint. Trying to think. Extra filters, that's fine. Entity. There's the create model. So what is wrong? Extra filters. API parameters of list. So bare API service does not satisfy, let's see what it says. Bare API service does not satisfy the constraint args any. Type unknown is not assignable to type. Expression produces a unit type that is too complex to represent. Interesting. Type unknown. What is unknown for you, man? So what if we just check on this type? Let's get this. Oh, it's the list one. Oh, it's just client. Huh. Interesting. So we don't have list as a possible. That is. Hmm. Maybe that's. It makes sense because it doesn't exist. So if I do list, it says expression produces a union type too complex to represent. So I think the problem is you create a union type that's too complex for me to handle. I can only represent 100,000 combinations in the same union, and you've gone over the limit. Interesting. Okay. Well, this improved. This library improved a lot. I don't remember having had like this clear information before. The extensor shape. Maybe I went over the limit. It's just too complex. So what can I do to get like good parameter inference in here? So maybe what we need is, what if we define, it's crazy. I'm trying to think. I'm being a bad boy here. Parse filters shape. Texture filters undefined. Right. I think that should be fine. What's wrong? Huh? So it says it's not able to type filter shape or undefined. The type Zod or shape is not able to type filter shape. Okay. Uh, the thing is how you define this as Zod or shape and actually T filters. T filters shape. Where do I have that? T extra filters, T filter shape. Let's do this. This is just a record, so we could just use filter shape on the signature. What's that signature about? Let me remember. Let's do create API v2 and just follow from there. Texture filters, yeah, you're the problem. I think that would shut that. Um, yeah, well the error went away because it was around here. Uh, where wonder I remember where I put the. I think it was the list. Create API v2, yeah. Would it be nice to see if we could do. what we were doing before because that was working. But I'm kind of confused as to why is it wouldn't work this way with this type. Um, so we're fine. Let's go to the next error, which is pretty down. What is this? Update base. Okay, callback. Async input overload matches this call. Because we don't have. Wait, custom. Yeah, we don't have custom service call support. Wait, but this is like the previous version, right? Custom service call standalone. What about input? What does input say? Input does not exist on type, client, and access like. And I think this is exactly what was going on before. So what I wonder is why is create custom service call broken? Hmm. This should be like this should be independent because this is like another method and doesn't have anything to do with it. Function create service call. Oh, yeah, it might be because of this stuff. This shape is dot object models entity extends. So it definitely has to do with. If we actually look back at um, this, this guy definitely knew what it was going on. Wait, huh? So why isn't it complaining here? Dot object entity shape entity shape. Uh, no, not that. Final entity shape type partial entity without read only. Mm, so I'm actually not sure why TypeScript is complaining down there and not up here. I estimate that it has to do with the final entity shape not being resolved properly, and without read-only fields. No overload matches the skull. The last overload gave the following error. Divine. So signal to custom service callback. Zodvoice standalone. Beautiful type. So if it's partial, we get this. Otherwise, we get entity shape without read-only fields. So while this is, I wonder what could this um, client access like. It's like inferring the callback somehow else. Maybe we're what could it be? Let's see. Let's dig deeper. So the problem for sure has to be the input or output shape. input actually, because the input is the one that's erroring. So this shape is broken. Final entity shape, type partial. The objects and read-only fields. Maybe this resolution is the one that's breaking stuff. Partial total and just default to partial. Method patch, type partial, new value, type partial total, t-type extends partial. If it extends partial, entity shape without read-only fields. So that's what we did before. Right, we don't care. Get info from raw with brand type of. And ID. So we get an ID. Maybe the ID is the one that's breaking things. Do we care about that? Get info from raw with brand TNTT TAPI entity shape. This is the one that I was questioning why we were doing this. TNT extends zero shape, TNT zero shape. So there's a chance that this not being the T entity that we expect. This is killing me. It's just that working with these generics is pretty exhausting. um, Especially because I have no idea right now how to actually fix this type issue, because this is all generic. How do I create custom service call to understand that this is a possibility? The thing is, how was this defined before? Because if we don't know, maybe there's the check. Do you have early returns? Paginated sort, parse response, return raw response, So what's this? This is an F, right? No, this is a list. So I believe if there's no models and there's no entity, we do this. So from here on, models shouldn't be something that entity is something that's for sure there, and we don't know what it is yet. Strip read-only brand, the entity ID. So I wonder whether it has to do with the fact that we were expecting entity to have an ID. So I may actually end up. So if I were to just like continue doing this on my own, we know that we need callbacks, right? So I would do async, and this do still not working fine, but we have only client and utils. So models entity is being properly inferred. Otherwise, we wouldn't have utils. Utils seems like we do have from API, so that's a good thing. But the problem is the input shape. Input shape has something wrong or broken. What if I do this? Would that work? No, still utils. And we need input to show up. Final entity shape. Entity without read-only field Zod. So I don't know what this is called shape. It's actually a Zod. Final entity Zod. Zod object. Is this a callable? No, that's not callable. It's interesting because I can't get like the input to show up. It seems like input shape is not what it expects to be. Strip read only brand or key. Wow, wow. So there's hmm. But that's not a Zod object. And partial also is a. Why is this thinking that it could be strip read only brand? I think this or is killing it. Shouldn't it just be this one? Let me do the same but in the other update base. The original one. So this final entity shape should have copied it, damn. No, this is the same. So why is it working here and not there? That makes no sense to me, right? What's the difference between these two types? Yeah, of course I can't see it all, but I want to see if there's something that I can look at. Um, they're definitely different. But this is terrible though. I thought it was going to be more useful. Um, stripper only brand. So this is the one that works. It's entity shape, okay, tentity. Okay, in key of stripper only brand, and this is strings, dot optional, dot ID, dot optional, or dot branded, or da 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 da. This is this is a tough one. So this is create API v2. Where does this guy come from? Models entity. T entity extends auto shape never. Let me see what might be going on. Oh, so what I care about is this guy. Entity shape. And what is entity shape for you? Hmm. Does it have anything to do with this? Actually, I don't care about the type, just the name. Oh. If this makes it work, I'm just gonna cry. Wow, that made it work? No, it didn't. Um, but it may. No, it still doesn't get the input. Oh god. Is this still called? What am I looking at? I don't know why I was looking at that. TNTT. It's still called TNTT. TNTT extends entity shape. Hmm. It's like I'm in the other one. I'm not going as deep as that as the generic. Uh, it's crazy that this says entity shape and it doesn't say. So it actually has to do something with this signature here. It's defaulted to entity shape. So that's why it just picks up entity shape. So what if we cast it? Okay, let's try casting it. Maybe that's the way to go. Mm, would that? Well, that helped. Not much. No overlay matches this goal. Come on. What's the problem? So now we have input, but that's okay. The following error. Type of parameters 0 and params are incompatible. Which params? There's nothing else. What else do you want? Is the problem the from API thing? Hmm. Get inferred from raw with brand. Instead of doing it into the shape, we could do. No. It cannot pass models without entity. So it's not the return type? Is it parameters? Give me one sec. It's not bother with the return type. Client inputs utils. The last overload gave the following error. Client input utils, client access like and TNTT extends dot void whatever is not assignable to type custom service callback zot void. Why does it say zot void zot void zot void? It's conflicting with conflicting with? So the call, it's weird because it's asking for something, but at the same time, it's giving me that we do have all these things available. So what is with it? If these weren't available, why would you complain? T input, T output, T filters, standalone. Hmm. Should I move the overloads? Any. I think this is the one that's breaking. Okay, it's finished. Mm, mm. I genuinely have no idea why this is picking up the wrong overload. So probably we'll need to rework create custom service calls as well, so that we don't get these type of issues. Because this is a problem with overloads. It doesn't know which one to pick up. Uh, so level 2 type client access like. So if I were to do this, for example, that wouldn't complain on that um, return 0 as any, for example, and that would work, I guess. So this is very weird. But why is input and utils available if when I add it, it'll just say, yo, that's not right. What is it? It's not that. Oh, is the return? Actually, the return is the problem. The entities void standalone. Which one? Which callback are we using? T input, T output. It's like the one that has everything, so that's fine. So what is it expecting for me to return? Why can't I just return? Wait. Excuse me? So I remove. What? That can't. Ex that cannot be. So if I add like an as NES, and this is unreachable code. Oh my god, I'm just like, okay. So what do you expect me to return? This expects me to return service call function. Custom service callback T. So params client and base URI T call type callback utils callback input. Param is infer shape or Zod without brand T output. Let me see if I can do this. If I force this as Oh my god, this doesn't work. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can rework this at some other time. Maybe we'll have to do custom service callback, custom service calls first before create API. I mean, I know that this works runtime because it was working, but I don't know what's going on with the type. So another thing is to do ts expect. Uh, so yeah, that would be a thing to do. Um, so what is wrong with you? Type conversion? Oh my god, that's bad. What is behavior API service? T models or unknown? If not, modify custom service calls, please return. Behavior API service, what is wrong with you? This is maddening. Why? Mm. Client and base API calls, entity extra filters. What is wrong? Entity T create extra filters, T extra filters. This is crazy. What is it missing though? What does this look like? Wow, it only has client. Okay, that might be an issue because it doesn't know. Oh yeah, I'm running out of battery. Just plug myself in. Okay, there we go. So maybe we just need. I don't know why I deleted the type. I just wanted to check what happened if I did. Um, so we make sure that that exists. That's still what? Bear API service. Okay, one sec. Let's go the other way around. It still doesn't create what? What is it checking? Models, models, models with entity model. T models extends entity model object. Infer T. T API entity extends entity shape. T extends true unknown. Retrieve. Yeah, I'm very confused. I'm gonna be. I can't believe I have to any this. I added a bunch of any's everywhere, and that hurts me a lot, but we need to get this going. There's only one test that's not passing. Yeah, this should be modified. We should do options. Distributor slash. That should cover it. What else do we have? T-expector should not include this method. General check transpose. Type of create API. This is fine. Shouldn't it? Does not expose any method if no models were passed. I think this is broken. Return type of type. Oh, that's broken. So create API. It says create API v2. Should be never, right? So if you don't pass anything, you should not include any of the methods. That's very interesting. To have everything. So what is create API on its own? Should never. What does it return? Bare API service, entity, T entity. Aren't we checking for is never? I wonder what this is returning. True call object. That's fine. So why is this? Okay, I think the problem is the way we're actually addressing this. So we maybe I don't know how many nevers. I'm just nevering everything. Type argument list cannot be empty. Excuse me? I don't remember how many. 4. That's fine. So we never everything. So I should That's fine. Um, these lists should have increased. Hmm. Which other ones we have? Update, upsert, and remove. Well, remove should be. Okay, that should be good to go. I don't want to do this anymore. This API. Is there any other retrieve? That's all of them are there. Nice. Good. What am I missing? There's one that's breaking. Expect a call out an entity not being properly formatted should include ID. Non-ID field. Oh. Okay, that should go there, right? Nice. Okay, so now we have this working. The only problem is that it's erroring on the should not pass create model. So this is a TS test. How is it even running? Cannot pass models without entity. That's the name of it. Yeah. API. Create API v2. Oh, interesting. So we do have. So we could have like the two. Um, you can have two ways of testing this. So we should do expect. I think this. What's the difference between to throw and to throw error? I think to throw error you can. Okay, so I guess we got this working at least on the runtime. Type layer, I'm not happy with the results. I added a lot of any's in many places, and that's not good. Um, I know that we are already defining the return type on the signature. So if we just do this, so it shouldn't really matter that much. Um, it shouldn't really matter that much that we use any's within this, but this gives a bit of it could be problematic for developers to actually do whatever. I mean, of course, always we're gonna have tests, and that's gonna be where we do like the point of contact between the types and the runtime uh, layers. Um, so that's why I'm a bit careless when using any. I don't know if that's what I meant, but it's like I don't feel as afraid of using as any or any in these things because I know that users of the library will get the right types for this. Otherwise, we wouldn't have. If we go to list, for example, we do have like a lot of tests for this TS. So um, yeah, what did it list? List it describe list. There's like a lot of tests for list, for example, and there's some TS expector that would catch a lot of things that could go wrong on the user side. So yeah, that's kind of the conclusion for this. Um, maybe if I continue refactoring on, for example, the create custom service call, if we refactor this into not having as many, look at all those overloads, that's insane. These give really good UX, but it's a pain to work with as a library author, and they definitely would see benefit if we do something like this. It's like we are like merging all the overloads into one, so it's a single point in the code where we have to modify things. Having these many overloads make the maintaining of the library really hard, because sometimes someone wants to change the behavior of a certain branch of these overloads, so it's only one overload involved, but you may need to modify the other overloads as well. Whereas if you had like this, now we might just come to this single place, make the required changes, most likely either on parameters, because I don't know, maybe we want to add a parameter, or just in the bare API service because we may want to change the return type of this. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm in a mixed, have a mixed feeling of fulfillment and failure at the same time, but I think we got like we got good progress here. It's something I think we can iterate on this and just fix these any's and continue with the custom calls in another session. So I think that's pretty much for this session. So okay, thank you for being here, whoever is. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube later, so it's not just gonna die here. I have no idea how to stop this. I think this is it. So, yep. Goodbye, everyone.